right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's early Sunday morning here, and there's always one comment that I always see pertaining to the New York Jets quarterback position. What about Brady Cook? We've talked a ton about Justin Fields. We've talked a lot about Tyrod Taylor. We've obviously talked a lot about the long-term play at the quarterback position. But we haven't really talked lately about Brady Cook, right? There was obviously a lot of discussion before the season, during preseason and whatnot. And I figured it'd be pretty cool just to make a dedicated video about Brady Cook and the potential of seeing him in the starting lineup. Now, I think the first question is, right, how did we get here? Unfortunately, Justin Fields just has not worked out up to this point. I really like Fields as a runner. I really like him as a guy. I really want him to turn it around really bad. This week against Baltimore, I don't know if he's going to be getting the start, but if he does, I'm going to be pulling for him. I really hope that he, rights the ship here. But, whether it's the Browns game, the Patriots game, the Panthers game, the Broncos game, the Bills game, there's so many games where you're looking at Fields as a drop back passer and you're saying, yes, we like you as a runner. Yes, we like you as an athlete, but again, as a drop back passer, that needs to be at least below average, kind of right in that D plus, C minus range. But it's just, at times it's been horrific. Now, is it all on Fields? No. We can blame the players. We can blame the injuries around Fields. We can blame the coaches. No AVT, no Braylon Allen, no Garrett Wilson. But, when it comes to just the eye test and you're just watching Fields, takes so long to deliver the pass, takes so long to process what's happening in front of him when you're watching him take these sacks, drift backwards. There's just been, a lot of inaccurate throws as well. It's just, there's a lot of Jets fans, that are done with Fields right now, let alone giving him a couple more weeks. So, Ian Rappaport actually reported on this. I believe it was Thursday. He literally said that he is not the long-term option for the Jets, and they're going to be focusing on other options in 2026. So I think based off of what we've seen so far, there's just a lot of people that are ready for a change. When it comes to Tyrod Taylor, I do think that he gives you the better chance to win compared to Fields. I think Fields is a much better runner. But I feel like Taylor at least just gives you something in the passing game. And I'm talking the drop back game. I'm not talking about extending a play and finding someone down the field. I'm talking about 3-step, 5-step, 7, 8-step drop. Stand in the pocket, deliver a throw. Whoever's playing wide receiver, right? I feel like Tyrod gives you a little bit of a better chance compared to Justin Fields. He's a veteran. You feel like he's not going to be overwhelmed by the moment, overwhelmed by the defense, a defensive look or anything. You just kind of feel like he might give you a more consistent hand, not a great hand, maybe not even a good hand, but at least he would be more consistent than Fields. But the big problem with Taylor, he's 36 years old, 37 years old. He's not the long-term option at the Jets quarterback position. And ideally, you kind of want, as a bad football team, to see your young players out on the field. Look at Cleveland, right? They're just rolling with Dylan Gabriel. Flacco was the starter early. They also had Kenny Pickett in training camp. They traded both guys away. It is Dylan Gabriel. It's Shedeur Sanders. That's it. Yeah, you have Deshaun Watson, but I don't even know what's going on with that whole situation. The point is, Tyrod Taylor is not going to be here for the next 4 years. He's not the Jets franchise quarterback. So you can argue, yeah, he might give you the better chance to win, but he's giving you zero upside. And he just feels like a straight up placeholder at this point. Now, I still feel like, given the state or the date, rather, of the season, November 16th here, I would like to see Taylor for at least one game just to see if he, the offense can pick up a little bit. But look, if the Jets don't want to go down that route, or maybe we are a couple weeks into the future here, we're talking week 14, 15, 16, 17 maybe, a nice little 3-game stretch. Could we see Brady Cook? Now, on the surface, it might sound a little crazy, right? A rookie, undrafted free agent. How does that make any sort of sense, starting him? Well, if we think about Brady Cook, who he is, where he came from, what he's done before in the past, quick little backstory. He has 47 career starts. with the Missouri Tigers. Coming out of the SEC, one of the biggest things I loved about Brady Cook was his leadership, his overall toughness. He's not the biggest guy. He's not Cam Newton, Josh Allen, but he is tough as nails. And again, you match that with the production, you match that with the conference that he was playing in, you match that with the experience, you can understand why there was a lot of NFL interest. Speaking of the NFL interest, you can push back and say, well, he wasn't drafted. Well, he was expected to be drafted. And it really felt like last year's quarterback class was just all over the place. A lot of people just missed the mark on it. I mean, you had guys being drafted that were not even ranked in the top 270. And Cook, without a doubt, slipped through the cracks. And so I think that's why you saw a lot of lists once the draft ended. Like literally, as the draft was ending, you had numerous lists come out, the top undrafted free agents still out there. The guys that, whoa, this guy didn't get drafted? How did this guy not get drafted? He deserved to be drafted, but he's on the undrafted free agent market. And we're going to rank these guys. Brady Cook was number one, not just out of the quarterbacks, but out of all these positions, number one on numerous lists. And if we rewind back to the undrafted free agent reaction video, I was fired up. So many of you guys were fired up. I mean, Jets fans, Tigers fans all over the place were like, whoa, Brady Cook is a UDFA. I would have taken him in the 6th. I would have taken him in the 7th. So we get to preseason, and he's performing well. He's going through his reads. He's completing passes. He's getting rid of the football pretty effectively. He's not, Tom Brady or anything, but for the context, the wide receivers that he's playing with and understanding where he's at and the opportunities that he was given, I would say he made the most of it. I think to my knowledge, he only threw one interception. And outside of that one play, he was pretty damn accurate. He was pretty spot on. It was a smooth operation. You didn't really feel like he was overwhelmed or anything. And again, this is preseason. There's only so much that you can pull from it. But if you want to start bullet pointing Brady Cook's timeline up until today, everything's been pretty solid, right? He made the team with the Jets. This is not something where, he was a UDFA invite and he's off the team in 2 weeks. No, he's still here. Brady Cook is still here. I think, Aaron Glenn and these guys, Tanner Engstrand, if they didn't want Brady Cook, they would have gotten rid of him. They've worked out Desmond Ridder. They've worked out multiple guys here. I believe they've worked out 4 quarterbacks since, to my knowledge, maybe there could have been more behind the scenes, but 4 public quarterbacks they've worked out since the season has started. How many have they signed? 0. DTR was one of those guys. And I think a part of that is, are they really going to be that much of an upgrade over Brady Cook, right? Internally speaking, because they're watching this guy practice in work and perform in meetings and everything like that every single day. So I personally would not rule it out. Let's just say he gets the starting nod week 15, 16, and 17, and the Jets are just done with the Justin Fields experiment, and then they're kind of looking at Taylor just saying, okay, we know who you are, and this is pretty much it. Not to mention the injuries or the injury concern with Taylor, which is arguably how Justin Fields got back into the starting lineup in the first place. But the point is, if you want to see Brady Cook out there, that is totally cool with me. I'm cool. I totally get that. I think right now it might be just a little bit too early, because I think if you turn to Brady Cook, how will that go over in the locker room? Just leapfrogging Tyrod Taylor, who's been the QB2 the entire season. You're going straight to QB3. I don't know, because Taylor's a veteran. There's kind of this unwritten rule, right? You don't want to just, you don't want to treat these veterans of the game, I don't want to say poorly, but you don't want to, rock the boat if you don't necessarily have to. And it just feels a little bit too early for me personally. But I will say, if Glenn makes that decision, if Tanner Engstrand is in the meeting room saying, hey, it's week 15 here, what do we have to lose? Let's roll him out there and see what we have. You never know what could happen, right? I mean, how many UDFAs have worked out? Like, there's been a lot since the beginning of the league. So I'm pulling for Brady Cook. I've always kind of, been in his corner. He seems like a really, really nice dude, really likable, really hardworking and tough guy. There was a game back in college, I believe it was Mizzou Auburn, where he literally got hurt in the game left the stadium, went to the hospital, came back to the stadium, resuited up, and finished the game. That is freaking sick. Like, that is just like the definition of like a football player. Totally cool story. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on it. Enjoy your Sunday. By the way, no jet game, right? Ravens next week. So hang back, kick your feet up, enjoy some football. Anyway, thanks so much, and as always, go Jets.